What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Wednesday. Got 8 games here tonight. I got it broken down for you. 6 of my favorite plays, my money 6. And before we get going, if you could spam up that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let's try to get around 70 plus likes again on this one. Thank you if we can do that. Yesterday, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes. Got some good luck with Sandoval, had a walk-off home run in extra innings. That helped us. Also, Reese Hoskins had a nice RBI single in extra innings, so got a little bit extra production from them. Max Muncy only had 2 walks, only 2 at-bats, which always kind of pisses me off when I target power hitters and they just give me walks. I mean, I'd rather them just kind of hit deep fly balls just to show that the ability was there. It's almost like you don't get to see if your research paid off. But all in all, it was a good night with the hitters with Hoskins, Sandoval. Also, Dyson got the stolen base they were looking for. So pretty good. Chris Archer was really the letdown. He started off really good. Yet again, a pitcher that starts out good. It's looking good, but then he lets up 2 home runs. And or actually, it might have been 3 home runs yesterday. Yeah, I think he let up 3 home runs, which definitely didn't help. And yeah, it was a pretty bad night. Chris Sale, pretty solid, got the strikeouts. Another guy, he allowed a 2-run shot that barely stayed fair. I mean, it was really close to going foul. Wouldn't have minded if it went foul, but yeah, so I'd say a good night. Let's hop right into the plays for tonight, though. Patrick Corbin, 10,900 going against Colorado. I thought about going to Strasburg just because Colorado is just so bad outside of Coors Field. I mean, their batting average this year is 222 on the road. Corbin, a great strikeout pitcher. Can definitely get a good amount of Ks against his Colorado line, but I feel like they strike out a lot more on the road too for whatever reason. And I think that Corbin just in this spot is a perfect situation where he can show off that upside. Against this Colorado team, the first start was pretty solid, 6 innings, 6 Ks. I'm pretty sure that was in Coors Field. So with him being in Washington this time, I feel like he could limit some more hits. It's good hitting condition. I mean, good pitching conditions for a left-handed pitcher with 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from left field. So with that high strikeout upside, he showed that against Philadelphia and Kansas City with 11 and 10. Atlanta, not a big strikeout team, only got 5 Ks there, but I think he'll be able to bounce back here in an easier matchup and be able to give us some good upside. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I mean, these other few guys at the top, I feel like we're just a little bit too risky. I mean, Bieber's been pitching well this year. I feel like he's pitching a little bit over his head. Syndergaard, very inconsistent this year. I don't know if I can trust him for 10,000. Definitely has the upside, but I feel like Corbin's a little bit safer and has the upside, so I'm willing to pay up a little bit for him. Then I'm going to go with Zack Greinke here at 7,800. A guy that's been struggling with his command over the last 2 starts, 4 walks, 5 walks, and I think he'll be able to bounce back a little bit from that and be able to have better command in this start against Chicago White Sox. And it's on paper, it's a better spot for him to limit the walks, as the White Sox they have the second fewest walks out of all Major League Baseball teams. So, I mean, not a team that really is that patient at the plate. They definitely swing outside the strike zone. And Zack Greinke is a solid strikeout pitcher, 26% K rate so far in the MLB, and the White Sox have around a 26% K rate themselves against right-handed pitchers. So I feel like he can go a little bit deeper in this game if he can keep his command out of wraps. I mean, he's not been allowing that many hits. Like in 5 innings of work, he's only been allowing 3 to 4 hits per game. So, solid stuff. The White Sox, not a scary lineup by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second pitcher. Then I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt. On his numbers against right-handed pitchers, they don't really pop off the screen, but I feel like Paul Goldschmidt has been so hot and cold over the last 2 years, where when he's hot and now, I feel like we have to target him. So the last 2 games has 2 home runs, good amount of RBIs, also hit a home run against Pittsburgh before, home run against Arizona. So within the last 10 games, he's had some big-time performances, 16, 22, 20, 17, and 21. So that's 5 out of the last 10. He's had double digits, averaging 10.4 fantasy points per game. And at 4,300 for a guy of his upside, his home run ability, going against a guy like Jordan Lyles, who he's had good success against, 10 for 21 with a double, a triple, and a home run. And with him starting to heat it up a little bit, he had a really cold stretch over the last few months. But I think this is a good spot for him against a bad pitcher. Lyos allows a good amount of hard contact, good amount of home runs. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I feel like he could be a little bit overlooked just because the numbers don't really pop out that much against righties. But I feel like I'm going to go a little bit outside the grain and just kind of get a good sense. I think he's going to have a good night there in that matchup. And for my second guy, we're going to go with Miguel Sano. And the numbers definitely jump up the page for him against lefties. A 367 ISO against him this year, going against J.A. Happ, who hasn't been good this year. They're implied 5.2 runs, so it makes too much sense for me. Absolutely killed it yesterday. Honestly, when I started researching him yesterday before he had a second home run, I kind of hate when I'm about to recommend guys and then they kind of go off the night before because I don't want them to get all their production like out of the way the night before. But still, I'm gonna stick with my guns here against the lefty. He's been better. And really good home run numbers so far this year. Finally showing his upside after his terrible year last year. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second hitter. Then I'm going to go with Nelson Cruz. Pair him up with Miguel Sano. A little mini stack there. Another guy with extremely good ability against lefties. He had a home run as well last night. He has a 422 ISO, a 418 WOBA versus lefties. I've been recommending them a good amount of times against lefties over the last 2 weeks. But J. Happ, another good matchup for him. He's allowing 1.9 home runs per 9 to righties and a 42% hard contact. So Cruz and Sano, I think one of those guys has a good shot of hitting a home run. Hopefully both of them. But we're going to go ahead and lock him in there as our third hitter. And for my final guy, we're going to go a little bit for the upside play. And Moe Reyes here at 3,500. Noah Syndergaard, a very up and down pitcher. And he's been allowing a couple more home runs this year. Around like 1.1 home runs per 9. Not that bad of numbers, but the matchup I feel like just makes a little bit of sense against Reyes. He already hit a home run against him before, and Syndergaard is one of those guys that pitches a lot of fastballs. And based on what I've seen from Reyes in his career, he's a pretty good fastball pitcher. I mean, it's tough to really blow it by him. He has that crazy power, so when he does connect with a fastball, there's a good chance it could go out of the park. He's a 305 ISO versus righties, so some reverse splits there, and if you can keep that production and that ability to kind of hit those faster fastballs, and at 3,500, it's a good value. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So you got Patrick Corbin, Zack Greinke, Goldschmidt, Sano, Nelson Cruz, and Reyes. Some really good home run ability and some good strikeout upside for Corbin and Greinke. So I hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like on the video if you did. Would really appreciate that. 70 plus likes. Let's try to hit that. And also subscribe to the channel before you leave. If you aren't subscribed yet, you're missing out on some great MLB DFS content. And you definitely don't want to miss out on any fantasy football kind of draft prep information that you want to get here. And any NFL DFS advice as the season kind of comes closer. We'll be doing some great stuff week in, week out for some DFS content and stuff like that. So keep it locked here. We'll see you back here again next time.